This is a review of the Federal Reserve goals and monetary policy. This is basically Chapter 15, Sections 1 and 2. The Fed has 3 macroeconomic goals. These are low unemployment, low inflation, and growth in gross domestic product. We want to accomplish all of these goals. If you remember on the business cycle, if we accomplish all these goals, we are operating on the trend line, or in Unit 1 on the production possibilities frontier. In order to accomplish these goals, the Fed has 3 monetary policy tools. We've covered them in class, but this is kind of a review. The first tool we're going to go over is reserve requirement. If the Fed increases the reserve requirement, this will cause the banks to hold more money in their vaults and lend less money out to others. If less money is lent out, this will slow growth, which could be a good thing if we're suffering from inflation. It could be a bad thing. Again, it causes a recession. When the Fed decreases the reserve requirement, this causes banks to hold less money in their vaults to lend more money out. Now, this can increase economic growth, which could be good if we're suffering from a recession. However, if you do this policy for too long, it can lead to inflation. Let's go over the second monetary policy tool. This is open market operations. When the Fed buys securities, this will cause more money to be put in the marketplace. If more money is put into the marketplace, this can cause inflation to grow. Now, this isn't necessarily a bad thing. Remember, inflation is only bad if it grows faster than GDP. If the Fed sells securities, this causes less money to be in the marketplace. This can cause inflation to slow. Now, we might want to do this so we have a steady rate of inflation. Again, this is a reminder that inflation is only bad when it exceeds GDP growth. Lastly, the discount rate. If the Fed lowers the discount rate, this will cause banks to have lower rates because they want to attract more customers and they want to loan out more money. If rates are lower, more people see that as attractive and are more likely to take on loans. If more people are taking on loans, this will increase the amount of money in supply. Now, this is good, again, if you want to fix a recession, but do this for too long and it can sometimes lead to inflation. If the Fed increases the discount rate, banks will increase their rates. If banks increase their rates, loans are no longer attractive to the average consumer or investor, and so people will be less likely to take on loans. If this is the case, it'll decrease the money in supply, which is a good thing if we're suffering from high levels of inflation. But if you do this for too long, it can lead to a recession. Overall, we need to know how each of these tools work and how the Fed tries to use these tools to be counter-cyclical to the overall business cycle. Tomorrow in class, you're going to act out each of these tools with partners so you can, again, see how they work and